Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Masyitah Adawiyah. I'm from English Education Department from Class B 2019. And in this video, I will explain about the syllabus design and the needs analysis procedure. So there are three big phase of the procedure, such as the first preliminary phase, and then development phase, and then the last one is review phase. Okay, let me explain it to you one by one. The first phase is preliminary phase. So the first thing we need to do is making decision in needs analysis. Making decision in needs analysis is like deciding the structure and then who will involved in needs analysis, such as like the target group, like students, teacher, and graduates. After that, we can decide the structure of questionnaires. The question divided into two, such as preliminary and core question. So the first one is introduction part. Introduction part is for the personal information, and then there are students' linguistic needs and learning needs. Actually, there is a slight difference between those two needs. After that, we can decide the theoretical foundations to formulate questions and possible answers, and then the types of questions. From this section, we can know the level of interest, the level of importance, and then proficiency of an aspect, as well as the level of frequency. The questionnaire should include whole type of information that has been formulated before, and then gathering information. In this section, we can collect the data from the respondents, like the target group I have mentioned before, and then calculating the mean by the results and to clarify the data presentation. Actually, some data will analyzed by using diagrams. Firstly, we can explain the respondents' distribution. For example, like the amounts, like 100 of students, and then 5 teachers, and then 10 graduates. And in short, we have 115 participants. Then we can make two tables to differentiate the respondents by their ages and their genders. Then the participants' perception about a speaking course at the English Education Study Program, whether it is important for them or not important, or maybe less important. And then the second is gathering information based on the linguistic needs of the students. In this section, we can see some results, such as the importance level of language components and perceptions on topics to learn, topics for learning. And then we should identify the most preferred topics of the students, of course. And there are 3 steps to be done in this phase. The first is gaining information from the participants on the importance of learning speaking course through real life topics. And then step 2, providing a list of the real life topics to be selected by the participants. And the last one is picking up the selected topics on the basis of syllabus needs and ranking the topics according to their level of importance. Okay, after all of that steps, we can finally using the information, we can use the data we have gathered before. In this part, all we need to do are the first, reviewing the needs inventories, whether from the linguistics or the learning needs of the students. After reviewing the needs inventory, we can set the aims and objective of the syllabus. And then the next phase is development phase. After preliminary, there is development phase. So first thing we do is selecting the syllabus content by reviewing our questionnaire about the students' preferences topics. After selecting, we have to start to make a plan about course structure, such as the topics and the linguistic needs. After that, we can develop the instructional materials. We can make the syllabus of course in the form of tables based on what we have been reviewed and what we have been said before. We can set the lesson plans of speaking course 1 and the instructional materials for speaking course 1. We can make the lesson for our class, and not only that, our instructional materials should be reviewed by an expert. So there are a list of what our experts should be capable of, so that we can call them experts. We cannot claim them by ourselves of our own perspective. They must be an intelligent one and have a lot of experience that a teacher in general does not have. And then the last one is review phase. In this phase, we have to do things that we are going to do. The first is implementing the instructional materials in the class, and the second thing we need to do is evaluating the outcomes of the learning. So we have to put the instructional materials in class and in classroom, and then we follow the instruction as we teach. We should teach under the time that has been set before in the materials, and then after learn, we can do an evaluation. In the step, summative evaluation is needed. We should evaluate the students' reaction and then their learning process. In this section, we can make a kind of rating scale and do the pre-test and post-test as well to know the results. Then we make a table where the results of pre and post-test are shown. Also the score distribution and frequency as well. And then we should distinguish or differentiate both and make a table of the scores comparison between the score of pre-test and post-test. And then after reviewing and calculate the tables, we can finish and make the overall results of summative evaluation. It is important that teaching materials develop from a syllabus designed to make better learning materials. In conclusion, if you want to be a teacher, a good teacher especially, you need to do something. In order to be a good teacher, we need to sacrifice something. We can, for example, we can do research like what I mentioned before and make the needs analysis based on the students' needs, whether it is linguistic or their learning needs. Then we have to design a good and effective syllabus to make sure that we have a good learning process with the students. In doing the needs analysis based on 3 rules I have mentioned before, and you can see the big things is coming. The result is students will enjoy the learning, and then you can also enjoy teaching because everything is well managed and well prepared. So do not forget about the rules. Like I mentioned before, preliminary phase, and development phase, and review phase. You know, everything like the small things like making decision about needs analysis, and then setting the type of questionnaire and the questions, and gathering and using the data from respondents like a target group, and then after that deciding and choosing the best or maybe a preferred topics based on the student preferences, and then decide the aims or objectives, and make the list of inventories, and make instructional materials and lesson plan. Do all the things I mentioned because this is really suggested, and of course this is really worth to do for all the teacher or people that will become a teacher like us, and for the people study in English major. This is really suggested, and maybe just that I think that's it I want to explain to you all, and I'm so sorry if there was a misunderstandings or like the mispronounce and all the errors or mistakes were by me, and the goods and the good things is from the God. And thank you so much for your attention, and see you on the other video. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.